everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game Lambda-Class Shuttle expansion pack. One of my favorite ships of all time. I love this baby. It was first seen in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, but it was also added into the special edition of The Empire Strikes Back. Now, the actual name of this craft is the Lambda-Class T4A Shuttle, and it was used as a transport for the most part, usually carrying Imperial VIPs, diplomats, Darth Vader, and of course the Emperor. Now, what's cool about this shuttle is, even though it looks beautiful, it is deadly. It has great defenses with some shields, but also features 8 weapons in the front, 2 double laser cannons and 2 double blaster cannons. And if that wasn't enough, in the aft section above the engines, it has basically a double laser cannon, which is awesome. And if you ever played Rogue Squadron 2 or 3 for the Nintendo GameCube, you could play that, and if you're the rear gunner, that is awesome. Such a cool ship and some great features. And speaking of features, this craft has the ability to raise and lower its wings, which is amazing, and we will take a look at that very shortly. And for the size of this craft, we're looking at a little over 2.5 inches long, which is pretty good. It may sound short, but it's scaled nicely with the Imperial TIE Fighters, which is awesome. So like always, we do have a lot to cover, so let's get this review started. And now it's time for my favorite part of these videos, the dial token roll call. 1 maneuver dial. And to go with that maneuver dial, these are all the maneuvers the Lambda-Class Shuttle can do. 2 ship tokens, which are double-sided. 1 focus token. 3 stress tokens. 1 critical hit token. 4 ion tokens. 5 shield tokens. 2 target lock tokens. 3 disabled ship tokens. And finally, 4 tracking tokens. So that does it for all the dials and tokens, so now let's take a quick look at the cards. Alright, looking at the upgrade cards, like always, I will read the name of the card. If you would like to pause the video and read the paragraph and the stats, by all means, go right ahead and continue when you're done. First up, Heavy Laser Cannon. Advanced Sensors. Sensor Jammer. Darth Vader. Rebel Captive. Weapons Engineer. Navigator. Flight Instructor. Intelligence Agent. 2 Anti-Pursuit Lasers. And finally, ST-321. So that does it for all the upgrade cards, so now let's take a look at the ship cards. Alright, looking at the ship cards, first up we have Captain Kagi, Colonel Jadun, Captain Yor, and finally Omicron Group Pilot. And that's all the dials, tokens, and cards. So now let's take a quick look at the rulebook before we put this beautiful ship on a stand. Now, the Lambda-Class expansion pack has a great little booklet, very similar to the Millennium Falcon we looked at previously. First up, we have our components list, and then we break into the new rules, such as unique names and the zero maneuver, which basically means that your ship is stationary, which is quite unique and awesome. In the interior of the packet, we do have a couple paragraphs explaining new rules, such as new upgrade cards, large ships and how they work, ion tokens, and overlapping. But the coolest thing about this packet, and the reason why it lives up to the name Expansion Pack, is because it comes with a new mission. Mission 6, Undeniable Assets, which is great. Besides offering a new ship with some new rules, we have a new way to play in a great little scenario here. And that's awesome. Now on the back, we have the maneuver template with all the maneuvers the Lambda-Class ship can do, and then a bunch of credits. So that's everything that's inside the Lambda-Class rules. So now let's take that ship and put it on a stand. And just like all other X-Wing ships, you get 2 pegs you combine together to make a larger rod. Peg it in the translucent base. Grab your ship. Be gentle. Lower those wings. And you are good to go. Finally, looking at the mold of the Lambda-Class Shuttle, like always, I will go over the major sections of the vessel, and then we'll get nice and close to see all the fine details this baby has to offer. So up first, let's begin with the bottom of the craft. We have our boarding ramp, peg port for the stand. These 2 rectangle sections here are the landing gear, so that's pretty cool. On the aft section, we have our engines and our aft double laser cannon, looking fine. We have our wings, looking really good. I love the detail on them. They're the same on both sides, looking sharp. Our main dorsal fin, love that as well. Our main body, some nice details on there. In the front, looking good. We have right here our double laser cannons. And our double blaster cannons. Now mine is a little warped. Kind of sucks. I wish I could fix it, but the plastic that Fantasy Flight Games uses doesn't take heat very well. I ruined the X-wing. That way I tried to fix the blaster cannons and they just shriveled. So you know what? I'm not even going to touch it. Moving on, we have our command section or cockpit. Looking very nice. And that pretty much does it for all the major sections on here. So before I get to the close-up of the detail, let's go over the wings. As you can see, they are hanging down right now. I think they look pretty good. But they do have the ability to raise up, which is awesome. Now, a lot of people used to have a problem where they would drop about that far. But right out of the package, mine just drop all the way. So, I don't know, maybe you have to force it a little bit. But I have to say, extreme caution with that because this plastic is known to break. So, just do it with care. But all in all, I love the function of the wings going up and down. I think that is a nice touch. And really offers some display options. So now, let's get that close-up of the detail. Starting our closer look, let's begin under the cockpit section. We have some beautiful recess in here. Excellent stuff. I love all the hoses here. That's a beautiful touch. Moving down, we have our boarding ramp with some nice details on the side. I think that came out great. Moving down to the underneath of the body, peg port for our stand, landing gear covers, and look at all this beautiful detail. That looks amazing. Love all the little doodads here. This is great stuff. Looking fantastic. Now turning the ship to the aft section, we have our engines, looking nice. I wish they were a different blue. Above that, we have our aft cannon. Looking great. And then we have a lot of hoses and modules and grates. I think that came out great. Beautiful stuff. So now let's take a look at the wings. I'll drop them. We'll begin with the dorsal wing. And I have to say I love the detailing on here because unlike a lot of models that have paneling, this is mostly raised sections upon raised sections and they stack them as you can see here. And I think it gives a nice effect. Now we do have two recesses here. But for the most part, it's just long rectangles and triangle type shapes built upon each other. And I think it looks great. I love the bottom here on the base. We have the three sections that extend out as supports. Looking pretty good. And all throughout, we do have tiny raised sections. And I think it's some great stuff. Real attention to detail. On the other side, it's mostly the same. But you can see all the raised sections and panels. Looking fantastic. Right here, you can see two hidden ones here. Since it's all the same color, it's a little hard to see all the detail in. But luckily, they covered it with a black wash, which makes all these little things pop. And now moving down to the bottom wing. We have some great detailing right here on where the wing meets the main body. And it does move when you close the wing, so that's pretty cool. Nice added detail there. The wing itself is much like the dorsal wing, that it has panels on panels on panels like staircases. And that's awesome. I love that. It looks very unique. And that goes all the way down to the bottom. Looking pretty good. We have some raised sections right here in the tan. And one on the tip for the white. Pretty cool. And then we have our double blaster cannon, which you can see is nicely detailed, but warped a little bit, which kind of stinks. But for the bottom of the wing, some nice paneling here. And then moving up, again, the staircase method of layering different panels. Coming up, we have some circles here. Beautiful. I love this section. And I don't know why. To me, it just looks appealing. And for those who are wondering, there's not really any type of detailing on the edges of these wings whatsoever. It's just flat. Even on the top, there's nothing there. It's just a flat piece of plastic. But regardless, it does look very nice. I love this design very much. And now moving on to the body. What we have here is a lot of what I like to call organic shapes. It's very aerodynamic with all the bubbly sections and smooth angles. And I don't know, I love it. You got paneling on the sides, some nice raised areas. Again, we have our aft section. Again, paneling. I love all the grates here. That black section there looking very nice. Everything's just built on each other and working well together. Then we have our neck section. Looking really cool. I like that a lot. And then finally, the command section, the cockpit. And this looks great. We have some recessed lines. The cockpit looks amazing. I love the paint on it. Very clean for the most part. I'm digging that quite a bit. And then on the side, we do have some little modules there. Looking awesome. The front has that recessed section, which is pretty awesome. And again, on the side, we do have more of those modules. The neck is nice, and behind the command section, we do have that little bit of molding back there, which is great. And that extends all over the neck area and to the front of the craft, which looks amazing. Especially with those double laser cannons. Very nice. Beautiful model. And that does it for the mold of the Lambda-Class Shuttle. Now, this vessel is my favorite in all of Star Wars, so I hope I covered everything. So now, let's take a look at the paint. Alright, now looking at the paint of the Lambda-Class Shuttle, it features about 6 different colors. The first one up is a nice white, covering the whole ship, and I think it was a great choice. Very accurate to what we see in the film. Very cool. Next, we have glossy black for the viewport of the cockpit. Nicely done, reflects light very well. Besides that, we have normal black right here for the vent. Moving to the back, we have a grayish blue for the engines. And then on top of the white, we have a tan color, which looks pretty good. I don't remember it really from the movies, but it does go well. And that's also at the bottom of the wings. Very cool. And finally, a beautiful black wash, which fills in all these little detail lines and really brings this ship to life. I think it came out great. A nicely painted ship. So that does it for the mold and the paint. So now let's put this baby back on a stand and compare it to some other ships before we end the video. And now for a quick size comparison with the Lambda-Class Shuttle seen in the center. On the left-hand side, we have Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, a nice piece. Can't wait to review that for you. And on the right-hand side, we have the X-Wing 2nd Edition Lando's Millennium Falcon, a beautiful ship, magnificent ships all around. And for another size comparison with the Lambda-Class Shuttle, on the left-hand side, we have the original TIE Fighter with its gray color scheme, pretty awesome. And finally, on the right-hand side, we have the Imperial TIE Interceptor, one of my favorite ships. And you can see how the sizes really do go well together. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game Lambda-Class Shuttle Expansion Pack. Again, the shuttle was first seen in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and for its size, it's over 2.5 inches long. And don't let that scare you, because it is to scale with other craft, which is great. Now, it's no lie, I am a massive fan of the Lambda-Class Shuttle. I will go as far to say as it's my favorite ship in all of Star Wars. But besides my love for this ship, do I recommend it for you at home? First of all, if you're a miniatures collector, absolutely. As I just mentioned, this ship looks great. That's mostly my opinion, but looking at the fine details on here, we have seen it has a lot of detail, and everything is brought to life by the great paint job here. We got the white, the tan, the black, and the black wash all working together. And even though the blue on the back is not really accurate for the engines, they did put some sort of grayish blue back there, so at least they tried. And don't forget, this ship is to scale with TIE Fighters, so if you get a couple of them, you could definitely simulate Darth Vader or the Emperor going to the Death Star. It's pretty awesome, so I fully recommend it if you're a miniature collector. Now for a gameplay aspect, I've done my homework, I've read a lot of boards and the rules, watched a couple of YouTube videos, and what I've seen is, I would consider this ship to be a 50-50 ship. Many people say it's good. A lot of people say it's bad. And rightfully so, the maneuvers are meh, stuff like that. But I do have about 3 points. If you plan on using this ship, 1. Know the ship. Know what it can do. Know the maneuvers. And get used to them. 2. Find the upgrades either from this set or other sets that would work well with this ship and help it, and utilize that. And 3, I would not recommend putting this ship on the field by itself. Definitely have 1, 2, or more support crafts to help cover the aft section. Now, having said my points, X-Wing and Armada are games all about customizing and doing what you want to do to better your squad or fleet. And you got to keep that in the back of your mind. There are millions of different ways you could set up a squad or fleet, and the choice is all up to you. You know, there are many builds out there, but it's all what suits you. How do you like to play? And I think that's a great aspect, and it adds a lot of freedom to the game. So what I'm saying is, do what you want. You know, if you want to play it, go ahead, go for it, go have some fun. That's what the game's all about. Now, if you're looking to buy this vessel, like always, I recommend eBay, Amazon. You could also check fantasyflightgames.com. Keep in mind, however, that X-Wing 2nd Edition is out now, and sooner or later, we probably will get another version of the Lambda-Class Shuttle. So that's everything I have to say about this beautiful ship today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.